Hello guys, welcome back to our channel.
From me to
So we are so delighted and happy today because we are collaborating with one of the very famous YouTubers from Dublin, and his name is Yella, and the name of his channel is All About Ireland. Like the name suggests, he discusses about all the topics about what's happening in Ireland. Don't forget to go and subscribe. We'll be putting his links in our description below, guys. Definitely go and check it out. So Yella basically moved to Ireland in the year 2017 to pursue his Masters in Business Administration, and after which he's joined a company named as Elevon, and he's working in Program and Technology Management. His wife works at Davi as a AML KYC analyst.
Hello friends, this is Yella, your friendly advisor in Ireland. Welcome back to my channel, All About Ireland. In this video, we are going to talk about how to come to Ireland as a nurse and work here, and also look at what are the career prospects within hospital industry. I don't know if it's called hospital industry or healthcare industry. I have here Molby. She's been in Ireland for a few years now, and she works as a nurse at Little University Hospital. And Molby, along with her husband Cybin George, they run a channel called Me to We, where they make fantastic videos around living in Ireland, as well as job prospects, the entire process that is required for a nurse to move to Ireland. In this video, we'll be basically covering the basic aspects, the fundamental aspects of moving to Ireland as a nurse. But do visit their channel to understand it in more detail, because they have videos vividly explaining each of the steps that's required to become a nurse here. Without further ado, let's just dive in. Hi, how are you? Thanks for taking time to be with me in this cold night, to talk about nurse jobs in Ireland. I did give a brief introduction, but yeah, can you talk a bit about your personal and professional background, which I did not cover?
Thank you, Yella, first of all, so much for giving us this opportunity to be in your channel. It's really a privilege, because we definitely feel that all the YouTubers should be supporting each other, because we can grow together as one family. Yeah. So we really feel very, very privileged. You must be thinking why my husband is right now, but then he's still here because we run the channel together, like Yella said, Me to We. And we definitely upload a lot of videos, informative videos as well as travel videos. Just to let you know about myself, my name is Molby, and we are basically from Pune in Maharashtra, India. So I finished my education and everything back home in India. I finished my Bachelor of Nursing back home in India. I had worked in India for 4 to 5 years, and then I had moved to Singapore for future aspects. And I really wanted to keep on aspiring my dream. So it was my dream to work in Europe. So that's how I landed up in Ireland here, and I've been here for the last 3 years.
Oh, fantastic story. So overall, before you moved to Ireland, you had like 5 to 6 years of experience.
Yes.
And what made you choose Ireland? Because you were already in Singapore. Singapore is also a great country. Why did you choose Ireland of all the European countries?
Basically, everyone, I think every nurse, whenever she starts to, start the stepping stones of building her foundation, they always dream about getting a job in abroad and settling abroad. It's just because of the aspect which they look towards nursing. It's like it's more a respected profession, I just feel. So that's why every nurse dreams of working abroad and trying to cherish their own dreams and everything. So Ireland was one of the countries I wanted to work in, because it's part of Europe, and like I wanted to move into Europe because it's beautiful to stay here and the people all are loving. So basically, like I left Singapore. The main reason was because Singapore is definitely a very, very beautiful country. For people who have been there and worked there, it's very, very modernized and very high tech. But the reason was because we were not getting PR and everything, and I couldn't move with my family. So that was the reason I thought that Europe will be a very good chance, because all about working is to live with your family in a one sweet home. There's no point in earning alone and living alone.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. And you came to Ireland. It's been 3 years. So what are your first thoughts about Ireland? And then are the thoughts still valid after 3 years?
Yella, to frankly tell you, initially when I moved into Ireland, like you said, I am in Letterkenny. So it's not like Dublin. It's like more of a county and like a kind of a small kind of a village. Like it's not that developed also. But then it's still very good because the cost of living is not that expensive. Yeah. So definitely would love. And it's a beautiful county because it's surrounded by landscapes and seas and oceans. It's very beautiful, like scenic wise. But the thing is, especially if you're born and brought up in cities, like I am from Pune, so it's very, very, I know, busy, and you have crowd and you have people, you have shops, and like the nightlife is happening. So all that was a challenge for me when I moved in here, because it is completely the opposite. We don't have that many shops and, you know, things and all around here. So that was definitely, it took me like 6 months to actually get oriented to this place and this environment, people over here. But then the people over here in Donegal, they are very, very loving.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though you don't know them, and if you're walking onto the roads and everything, they'll definitely look at you and say, hi, how are you? So you feel like, oh, all right, you don't know someone, but then still they're greeting you. So it's nice. Like, it was a good feeling. Like 3 years when I came, I had a problem towards the start, but I just feel that I just made a good decision and God gave me a right place. So I'm really, really enjoying here. I'm making my videos, I'm doing my works, I'm getting quality time with my family. So I'm liking it.
Yeah, I mean, Irish people are very welcoming, right, in that aspect. On the street, even, you know, if you visit their home, they're very lovely people. And yeah, which month did you come to Ireland? What was the month when you came?
I came in the year 2019, March.
March. You are still, you know, you were lucky that you came at the start of, you know, better days.
Yeah, exactly.
If you had come, I came in September, and by October I was like, did I choose the wrong country because of the weather, consistent rains? But yeah, I'm still here for 4 years, so I think I made a right decision to be here. So again, the next question is all about jobs within, you know, healthcare space. You know, recently they made a decision that healthcare assistants also are critical skills workers. So it means that there is scope for a lot of people to move into Ireland. Now, you said you searched for jobs from Singapore and you chose Ireland. How difficult was that? And did you get any help with respect to the process?
Actually, frankly speaking, Yella, for me, like, it wasn't difficult to find a job, because like when I had started searching for a job, I already knew, like, if you have to travel to Europe, it's basically for I'm running it from the nursing point of view. It's like, see, for nurses, if they have to move to any of the countries abroad, they have to qualify the basic exams. So like OET and IELTS. So once you give your OET and IELTS, it doesn't finish. Then you start with your processing work. And once your processing work is finished, you get your decision letter and everything. But like, see, the moment you enter into any respective country now, say like for Ireland, if you have to come in here, you have to give an aptitude or an adaptation. So basically, this has been decided by whichever agency you are with back home. So I had done all my paperwork through IITR. It's called as India International Technical Health Recruiters. Mm-hmm. So they are basically placed in Delhi. Mm-hmm. So it was a free recruitment, and they were very, very helping, because I had done, when I was in Singapore and I was working there for 2 years, once I was on my verge to finish my contract for 2 years. So within that 2 years of time, I gave my OET, and then my last year when I was working there, it took like around 8 months for the decision letter to come, because usually the processing time for Ireland
is what's OET?
It's an occupational English test. Okay. So it's same like IELTS. So it's just a qualifying English exam saying that you are able to, you know, fluently talk in English, and you're going to an English speaking country. So you'll be able to talk to people and convey your message to the people, and they could understand. So basically, it's just a basic qualifying exam. Okay. So once you clear your OET, only then you have to look for an agency. So that agency which I had gone through was IITR, like I told you. Yeah. So they do all the processing work for you. They'll fix all the interviews and everything. So now interviews are being done via Skype. Okay. So you get like the interviewees from Ireland. They come on the Skype, and then they have a 45 minutes interview with you. So basically all questions are asked, like which area you're working, and like it'll always be based on the area which you're working and your practice, scope of practice and everything. So basically, like nurses who are giving their interview, just a few questions, and if they feel that you're confident, enough and you're very capable enough, usually you do crack the interviews. I haven't heard anyone not clearing a Skype interview.
And these questions are more of technical, I mean, to the job they usually do, or are they aptitude? Competency-based questions. What exactly?
It's basically everything in one. It's all in one. So it's basically depends on which area you've been working. Secondly, it depends on your, they would ask you quite a lot of tricky questions also. Say if you don't have that many nurses to work on the floor, and say if you have loads of patients. And like if you have to take care of them, say if you have only 2 nurses on the floor, how will you take care of your patients? So basically they'll try to ask you a lot of tricky questions just to know like what your ideas would be.
Okay.
So it's just very practical, but they can be tricky at times.
Okay.
But it's just like all the base, whatever is your basic knowledge that's what you say. And that's how you clear your Skype interview. So once you clear your Skype interviews, the next important thing is they send you a set of documents, which you have to upload it in the NMBI website. So when I had applied in 2019, it was all had to be posted to them.
To Ireland, but from India.
Yeah, from India. We had, and so
what's
it's not us.
NMBI?
NMBI.
NMBI. Okay, it's in Ireland and
Board of Ireland. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically that was in 2019, but now I think they've started this email system. So because of the COVID and everything, they're getting a high volume of papers and documents. So that's why they have started this email system now, so they could email and post it on their website itself. So basically you have to create your own NMBI account wherein you can go and check your processing, because if your papers have been submitted, like all your documents have been submitted, only then they start the processing in Ireland.
So when you say processing, do they assign you to an hospital, or do you choose the hospital?
No, initially what happens is they first verify all your documents. So once all your documents and everything has been cleared, right? So whichever interviewer takes your exam, like your Skype interview, so it will be either for Galway, either for Dublin. So there'll be a lot of hospitals which will be looking for nurses. So whichever hospital county you're given, you'll basically get a job there. So you definitely don't need a sponsorship. So once you clear the interview, once your documents and everything is uploaded, they'll send you a decision letter. So in that decision letter, they will tell you like whether it will be an aptitude or an adaptation.
Okay.
So you already have a job when you're coming from home, and it's like directly you land in the country. And then if it's an aptitude, they give you a week's time to prepare. So it's basically the aptitude exam is like you don't get like adaptation. It's different. It's like you just have a week's time to prepare. There is written and there is oral, practical. So the written exam you have to clear, and you have to score more than like 35, 45 marks. So you have to score, like if there's 90 questions, you have to score half of them in your written.
Okay.
Then you have a practical station, like it will be like 20 stations, and you have to clear 14 of them.
Okay.
So once you clear that, you get your registration number, the PIN, to work here. So aptitude is comparatively, you'll get your PIN quickly compared to adaptation, because adaptation usually takes 2 to 3 months. And that's done, like you have to literally go to work, and then you'll be having a preceptor who will be overlooking all what you're doing, and she'll be assessing you, and then she'll submit a report to your CNM, the main nurse. And they submit about us that we are capable enough and we can be given the PIN. So after 3 months, only then you get your registration, your PIN. But for aptitude, you could get it in a month, because once you're cleared your practical, your PIN comes to you.
So best way is to choose aptitude to get it early. And which of these two are difficult?
Aptitude is difficult.
Okay. You said aptitude is also done via Skype, right?
Aptitude is not done by Skype. Aptitude, you have to come into the country, and you have to give it RCSI in Dublin.
Okay.
So you have to come and type practical exam. You have like examiner, and you have to stand in front of them, and then you have to show everything, like practical and theoretical knowledge.
Okay. And once that's done, they can start working.
Once it's done, I think within 24 hours or maybe 48 hours, they will send you a mail from the RCSI saying that you have cleared or you have still so many stations left. Because sometimes what happens is some people don't clear it in the first attempt. So they get another attempt. Like, so you can, like, if you don't clear it in the first attempt, you have another attempt. But if you don't clear it in the second attempt, you have to go back home.
Okay. That's tricky. Whereas in the second case, you don't have that.
I haven't heard anyone not clearing the adaptation. It's very, very rare.
Okay. And is there a fee for these, either of two? Or?
Yeah, you definitely have a fee, because usually, like for me, I cannot tell you what is the exact amount, because it's all the agency pay for you. So like whatever processing work we are paying, like for the documents and everything, like the hospital sponsors the agency. So they pay it on our behalf. But I think it's something around 1,000 to 1,200 euros.
Okay, so you pay nothing, the agency handles it, and the agency gets money from the hospital.
You don't have to do anything. They do everything for you.
Perfect. And once you pass, What are your next steps?
Then you move to the county, whichever you've got the job. So see, like I had got my job here in Donegal, Letterkenny. So the initial week, like when I had reached Ireland, we were in Dublin for a week. So we gave our exam, we finished our exam, and that Sunday, like we left because we had our exam on Friday. So we finished all our practicals on Saturday and we left on Sunday morning. So we came to Donegal. So the other good thing is the agency gives you, like they arrange you houses and everything for a month.
That's perfect. Because if you look at the other jobs, the other people in IT who come on critical skills, they need to arrange many things on their own, right? And sorry, do you also get critical skills visa, or what is the visa you get? Is it different?
We come in a critical skills visa.
Okay, same visa. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just that, and when you come here, you reach here, then we have to wait till you get that mail from the RCSI. Once you get the mail, they have to upload, and then they send a lot of documents to the hospital. So you see, you have to do a lot of blood tests and everything. So once whatever your blood tests and everything are cleared, and from the occupational health point of view, you have no sickness, no illness, and you're fit to work, you can start work. Like you get the date.
Perfect.
To work in the
one of the guys asked me this question in the YouTube channel. If someone is HIV positive, are they allowed to work in Ireland? Can they move from India? Was his question. So I was not sure.
Like, if you're HIV positive, I don't think so.
Yeah, because as you said, they take the bloods and
just because when you're doing, it's not about just being HIV positive. It's like anything. It could be hepatitis. It could be any illness. Like, so basically all the, the sicknesses are there. They do it from back home also. Like we have to do blood tests even when you are coming before to Ireland. Like even when submitting the documents here, we have a set of assessment which has been done. Like, they tell you from these respective institutes, you have to go and do your blood test and upload your blood. So in those blood tests, if they find anything, they'll definitely come back to you. And they'll ask you to do a titer. Now, say like for Indians, usually what happens is they don't have tuberculosis being done here. But in India, we do get tuberculosis vaccination. So usually what happens is in Indians, usually the titer will be always higher. So and comparatively to all the people who are here in Ireland, the Irish people, they wouldn't have that. So what they usually do is they ask us to do a titer just to make sure that we are not infected.
Okay.
So this is like, if we are infected, we are going to give this infection to the patients too.
Yeah. One of the first shockers I got is, I used to donate blood in India, and I came here, and as soon as I started working, I wanted to give blood, and I went through the list, and if you're born in India, you can't give blood here, basically. That's what I came to a conclusion. So they're very strict with respect to these sort of things.
That's true. They are.
So how is your work environment? Do you love it? What are the usual timings?
My work, actually, I work like I am being paid fortnightly. So every fortnight is how I'm being paid. But usually most of the hospitals, I think in Dublin, are paid monthly. So we here are being paid every fortnightly, and it's 13-hour shift. So we work like 7 days in a fortnight. So it's 39 hours. So we work for 7 days, and then you have off for 7 days. So it'll not be like 7 days you're working together. It'll be like 7 days and 14 days.
Okay. My neighbor, she works in Coombe Hospital. She does the same. She works for 80 hours in a week, and then she takes the entire week off. Is it similar?
No, it's not similar like that, because we cannot work for 13 hours the whole week. So it's very, very dangerous, and it's not good for the health too. So usually what we do is we do like 2 days, then we have like 3 days off, and then we could be like working 2 days and then 1 day off and then 1 day. So it's just like figures out to be like 7 days you have to work in a fortnight. So it's a good work-life balance. Like you can give a lot of time to your family too.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, how you worked in India, you worked in Singapore, you're working here. Where do you like it more?
Frankly to speak, Yella, family life balance is definitely very, very good here.
Yeah,
it is very good. But then they still have to improve a lot when it comes to the medical point of view here in Ireland, because I don't feel that they are that much forward yet. And I really loved my job when I was in Singapore, because even though it was not a 13-hour shift, but like it was only 5 to 6 hours, but maybe we had to work like Monday to Friday. But then it was still like only 5 to 6 hours. But definitely, I would say the work-life balance over here in Ireland is very good because you can give a lot of time to your family. If you have children and if parents are working, and you'll usually find like if in a household of three, both the parents cannot be working like full time, like you've been knowing. We tax like anything. And so it's always like one person works full time and the other person works half part time, just for the family.
So you actually answered all the questions there. You went through the process. If there are a couple of videos, if you can share me later, I'll put it in the video description. Again, for the viewers there, do watch the videos with respect to the jobs within healthcare sector. One final question before we sign off. Healthcare assistance, is the process same or is it completely different from what you had?
Healthcare assistance usually wouldn't come in a critical skills permit, actually, Yella. It's more like a general work permit. So like for critical skills permit workers, usually we can get your family within 3 months. But like if you're coming into the country with a healthcare assistance job, so it'll usually take like a year to get your family here. So that's the only different thing. So basically healthcare assistance.
No, I mean the process. I mean, how about the process? I mean,
it'll still be the same, but like they have to show proof of what they've been working back home. And for healthcare assistance, now they're saying that it's so now at present what they are focusing more is like nurses who want to come into the country and don't have an IELTS or OET can come in as a healthcare assistant.
Oh, I completely forgot. When you said OET and then IELTS, you need to write 2 exams.
No, you can either write OET or you can either write IELTS.
And IELTS, what's the minimum score that's required? It's
6.5. Overall, you should get a 6.5, but then you should have like a 7 and 7 in either of the two.
Okay.
So it's like 6.5, 7, 7.
Okay.
So listening, reading, writing, speaking. So it's just that any two you have to get 7 and the other two you have to get 6.5.
Okay.
But like your overall score should be more than 6.5. Right. Usually IELTS is more challenging because it's like very high tech. It's a British exam. So the assessment is very high. So most probably people would prefer, like if nurses, I would suggest them that they should go for OET. Because it's a much easier form of giving an English exam.
Okay. Yeah. What will be one advice or a couple of advices for people who would now want to move from India to Ireland as a nurse or healthcare assistant?
I would say y'all will definitely love it. But I wouldn't say don't keep up your expectations that high when you're coming to Ireland, because usually what every person thinks is, we are moving into Europe, so their expectations are quite high. But then I just feel that you should come with an opportunity. I just feel they should have this perspective of it's going to be challenging, but it's going to be a different challenge of life. So y'all are definitely going to love it because it just depends on which kind of place and county. Like my experience will be completely different to your experience, Yella.
Yeah. In 2 different poles.
Exactly. They're 2 different poles of Ireland, but person to person, it just depends like how they're going to love it or not. But definitely y'all are going to love Ireland, I would say. And we would really, really love people to move into Ireland because it's been seen that loads of Indians are moving, and even like the country right now, I have plenty of South Indians and like loads of people, because the year when I came in, I didn't know that many Indians were here. And just a different vibe, like. I don't know.
4 years back, there were very few students coming to Ireland. Now, a lot of students, again, even in every space, I see a lot of Indians coming over here. So it's good. It's good for the community, for us, Sure. Thank you, Molby, for being part of this video, for throwing light on various aspects of jobs within healthcare sector. I'll put the videos, some of the videos in the video description from your channel so that the viewers get the detailed version of what we were speaking. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yella.